Hello and welcome to today's episode of Through a Trauma-Informed Lens, Soma, Psyche and Soul. I'm Aneta Itchak and I want to warmly welcome you here. Thank you so much, as always, for connecting with me here in this space. Today I want to talk to you about something that comes up a lot in my conversations with other practitioners, and that is the importance of having right kind of habits to support you in your health and well-being, in your life and in your business. So I want you today to use this conversation as a reflection point for you. As we are coming to the end of the year, it's a really good practice to look back and see whether you achieved what you wanted to achieve and what really stopped you from achieving all the goals that you had, all the dreams that you had at the beginning of the year. And from my experience, usually the issue is with something really fundamental. And that's something that is so fundamental are our daily habits. Those three types of daily habits that build the foundation of everything that we do. You might have heard me say that before, that your body is one big habit. And so often we talk about habits as something that we create, but we forget that everything that we do, or almost everything that we do, is our habitual behavior. The way that you get up in the morning and what you do as your morning routine. Whether you read books on a daily basis and what kind of books you read or not, whether you move your body, whether you have 3 cups of coffee first thing in the morning, whether you go for daily walks, whether you have a schedule in your business that you commit to, whether you do behaviors like people pleasing, saying yes to projects that you don't really want to do or don't have capacity for or even time for, and yet you say yes to them. All of those are habitual behaviors that we developed over time. When you do something once, it doesn't necessarily turn into habit. But if you do it for a few days, few weeks, few months, for some of us, few years or even decades, it becomes unconscious habitual behavior that drives our choices, drives the way that we show up for ourselves, show up for others, show up in different areas of our lives without us even sometimes consciously noticing what's happening. So, for example, if you don't move your body at all, when you are younger, that's, for many of us, that's okay. The body is young, the body can recover. But over time, as you get older, if you don't move your body at all, that will have some kind of impact on your mobility, on aches and pains, on your posture, on the way that you are able to move, able to rest, able to engage in your daily life. And so for me, there are 3 different types of habits if you want to be healthy, happy, and wealthy. Here they are. So the first types of habits that are the foundation of absolutely everything that we do are our wellness habits or self-care habits. This is about how we take care of ourselves on different layers of our experience. So the lens through which I like to look at is the model, the framework that I created, which is the Integrated Soma, Psyche, Soul coaching method. And that is about really looking at Soma, Psyche, Soul within the context of the whole of your life and the life itself as the universe or the source. And so looking at different habits that you might have within the Soma, Psyche and Soul. So when I think about the Soma, I'm thinking about the habits that really support us on the level of physical body, on the level of daily self-care habits, like habits around our sleep, nutrition, movement, our alignment or lack of alignment with our inner rhythm, the rhythm of rest, play, and work, the circadian rhythm, the way that we nourish our body, the way that we look after ourselves, the nervous system, whether your nervous system is primarily in a regulated state or whether you spend a lot of time in the hyperactivated state, in fight or flight, or even in the freeze or shutdown. Really looking at our wellness and self-care habits and whether they support us or whether they don't support us. That's something that is so important for me. And I know that if you are a wellness practitioner, it's important to you too. I started exploring and learning and developing those habits over 30 years ago when I first learned mindfulness and loving kindness, when I first learned yoga. And those practices stayed with me for over 30 years. Even this morning, I went to a yoga class. I have daily mindfulness and meditation and breathwork practices and movement practices. I do fasting and I do at least 2 detoxes a year. That's something that I learned over 20 years ago. I have daily walks with Oscar. I live as much as I can in alignment with the seasons. I am aware of my inner rhythm and pace. I allow myself enough rest to recover so I can show up fully within my training certifications and for my clients and in my life. I know what burnout is because I have experienced it in the past when I was working in social care. And so for me, these kind of practices are non-negotiable and they're the foundation of everything. And I think when you really understand that, when it really lands for you, that everything else is built on your ability to take care of yourself in a way that supports you, because then you are able to support others. Then you are able to show up for others. If you are depleted, if you are burnout, if you live with chronic inflammation, chronic conditions, if you live out of alignment with the circadian rhythm, so your sleep is all over the place and you are continuously exhausted, you're continuously wiped out, or you continuously get ill, it's much harder then to enjoy your life. It's much harder to work on projects, show up to your full capacity. And then that impacts your identity and your self-concept and who you believe yourself to be and what you are capable of. And also the spiritual dimension. For me, when I think about wellness and self-care habits, and as I said, within the framework, there is the Soma, Psyche and Soul, the spiritual dimension, the connection to something greater than yourself, your own beliefs, your own faith, and the practices that help you daily connect with something greater than yourselves are key to feeling your sense of purpose, feeling your sense of direction, and what's most important to you. So your wellness and self-care habits are non-negotiable. Everything is built on that. And the other types of habits, the life habits and the business habits, are actually built on your wellness habits. So check for yourself. Where are you with your wellness habits? I know that this is nothing new for you. I know that we all know how important it is to look after ourselves. But does your observable behavior shows that's what you believe? Because that's what I observe quite a lot. in our society, that we know on a mind level that something is really important, that something works in that kind of way, that something is the truth, and yet we don't act as if we know it. So check in for yourself. What did you say to yourself at the beginning of the year that you would commit to? And have you committed to it? It's like a yoga teacher or a wellness practitioner saying that your wellness is the most important thing, and then they rush around, they don't have their own personal practice, they skip their meditation, their breath work, their movement, because they're too busy doing other things, and they don't prioritize their wellness habits. So over the years, I've made loads of different shifts and decisions. So for example, you might have heard me say that before, I stopped drinking alcohol 3 years ago. Do I never drink alcohol? No. Every few months, I might allow myself to have a drink or two. But it's not a habit. I don't feel this need for managing my emotional state with alcohol. And I don't feel the need to be in social situations with people when they're drinking that I have to drink. So really check in with yourself. What is it that you need to change? What is it that you need to commit to that you know would really make a huge difference for you, but you're not doing it on those wellness and self-care habits? The second type of habits are the life habits. And so the life habits are built on the wellness and self-care habits. For me, they are expansion of the wellness and self-care habits. It's moving from internal, how I take care of myself, how I organize my life, to being part of life itself. So my relationships with others, the boundaries that I have, my environment, the work that I do, how I engage in society. It could be around how I vote with my money. Do you know that you vote with your money? Every time you purchase something, you vote for that company or that product to stay in business. For me, it's also about learning and growing as a person, as a woman, as a practitioner. Recently, I was walking with Oscar and I was speaking with some people that I regularly talk to, and we were talking about reading. And they all said they don't have time to read. They only read when they go on holidays. And I was thinking how sad that is. A long time ago, I made the decision that I will read every day. And I have to say that I read every single day. I read either in the morning, after my morning practices, where I have my tea. There is a little bit of time that I have between my practices and my walk with Oscar, or I read in the evening. Once we had our dinner, I settle down and I take a little bit of time to read. For me, again, this is a non-negotiable. I read a lot, and I have done for many, many years. I study a lot. I just started another training. Not because I feel that I'm lacking in something, but because there are certain aspects that I want to develop further. I'm always learning, always watching trainings, always reading books, always following stuff, always growing. That growth mindset that I use within my business, I also use within my life. Not as a point of hustle, but as a point of choice for personal growth and development. And that takes me to the third type of habits that you need to develop and nurture on a daily basis if you want to be successful, if you want to achieve your goals, if you want to have good quality of life. And these are the business habits. So many female practitioners that I work with are absolutely amazing in the way that they work, in their modalities. They're amazing in the work that they do with their clients and within their communities. And yet, so many of them struggle financially. So many of them just feel like they're winging it, like they are just putting things together with the sellotape, holding it together, and not really having a proper strategy, not really having proper support, not really having even sometimes a proper schedule, weekly schedule and a monthly schedule, regular schedule, when they work on different aspects, different hats within the business. So there is always something that is missing, something that is not addressed, something that really is like a leaky bucket, draining stuff, causing a lot of anxiety, creating feast and famine cycles. I mentioned the growth mindset. The growth mindset, understanding that learning goes through certain stages. Many of us have not had education around business. We do a lot of training to become the best practitioners that we can be, whether it is about doing another wellness practitioner training or another yoga approach training or another coaching training. But so few of us really understand the importance of learning about business, and not just doing some kind of webinar or some kind of short course. I'm talking about committing fully for a year, 2 years, 3 years, to creating those habits, creating momentum that will take you to become well-established practitioner and earning good money. Because you can earn good money. Business is business. People who are really good in business were not born with those skills. They had to learn it. And so understanding that if you believe in yourself and in the way that you are able to grow, if you believe, truly believe on an embodied level that you can learn, that you can work it out, then the only thing that is needed in here to develop those business habits is time. Because that kind of growth, that kind of momentum needs time. And I've talked about this before, that we have got really skewed relationship with time. We live in this instant gratification society, Western society, that promises 30K in 30 days, that promises consistent 5K in 90 days. And it is possible for some of us, if you've got those foundations and those business habits in place already, if all the different hats, different areas of your business are already established, taking that next step is possible. But if that's not in place, then that's what you need to start with, and that takes time. And so the business habits are built on your life habits. And business habits and life habits are built on your wellness and self-care habits. For me, that's the order. So I want you to take a moment to reflect. I talked about 3 different types of habits. The wellness and self-care habits, upon which everything is built. Take a moment and check in with yourself. How are your wellness and self-care habits? Are you prioritizing them? Is your behavior showing that you really believe that they are foundation of everything? I talked about the life habits that are built on your wellness and self-care habits. And that is how you show up in life, in different aspects of your life. In your relationships, in your work, in your environment, the way that you grow as a person, as a family member, as a daughter, as a wife, as mother, how you show up within your community. Are your life habits supporting you, creating the life that you love, the work that you love, the way that you want to show up in your life? And I also talked about business habits and the growth mindset and really structuring your business and building foundations for your business, nurturing your business, growing your business every single day. Check in for yourself whether it feels like you are within the community of other people, each working on the business growth, on the impact within the community and the world in the best possible way. So these are the 3 types of habits. When you have all of those 3 types of habits in place, you have a lot of options, a lot of choices available to you. And that's where the sense of inner power comes in. Feeling like I can trust myself to make the best possible choices within the context of my well-being, my life, and my business. Taking full personal responsibility for the choices and behaviors that you choose, and really standing in your power. Showing up every day, walking your talk. So as we move into the end of the year and looking towards the new year, planning the new year, mapping out the new year, these are the things that need to be the foundation of the choices that you're going to be making about the next year. Those daily habits. And those daily habits either support you on a daily basis, making you feel more empowered, more stable, more able to make choices for yourself, or they slowly, day by day, destroy your inner sense of self-trust and self-power. My wish for you is that you choose for yourself what's right for you. And if you want some support, reach out to me. This is the kind of stuff that we talk about in the Trauma-Informed Somatic Teacher and Coach for Women Training Certification and in my 1-year business program, the Embodied Business Mandala Mentorship. These habits are the foundation of everything. I wish you a really good day. Enjoy the autumn skies.